MovieWeb.com.
The last time God lost faith in man, he sent a flood. This time, he sent angels.
Now what? You don't look like any policeman I ever saw, even one from L.A.
Are you here to protect us?
Not you. Her.
Why me?
Because your child is the only hope humanity has of surviving.
So I want to begin by asking you, the film is really cool, and I thought visually it's very stunning to see, an angel with these giant wings strapping on, this heavy artillery and shooting all these bullets. So was that sort of that visual content, was that what sort of attracted you to the project, the opportunity to do something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the script. It felt very sort of 70s. It felt very sort of Carpenter, and it felt there's these people in a siege situation, and they are able to talk to each other before all the action happens, and so you sort of get to know them. And on top of that, then you have this young, first-time director who wants to shoot it like a Western. So it's all really low, wide angles, and so it sort of felt both old school and by the way, he's got a huge background in visual effects, so he really knows what he's doing. So it felt sort of both old school and sort of fresh and at the same time classical and yet fresh and modern.
In the film you play definitely a heroic character, but a little less macho than we've sort of seen you in other films. So I was wondering, was that sort of what drew you to the character, a chance to show a different side of yourself?
Yeah, I didn't really see. I mean, I guess in the end maybe he does something heroic or selfless, but I saw him really as a big fat loser in life. It was really well drawn. The character, and he had a redeeming quality with his relationship with his son. He didn't want his son to make the same mistakes he'd made. It was a fun character, but it was also mainly it was the story. Reading the script. It's the way I choose movies is I read a script and hey, is this a movie I'd like to see myself? And yeah, it sure was.
What'll it be?
I'll have a steak, please.
And how'd you like that cooked?
Rare if you would, and water, no ice.
Coming right up.
Charlie, is it?
Yeah.
How far along are you?
Just about there.
But what about the baby?
I got it under control.
It'll all be over soon.
What'd you just say?
Your character is basically she's pregnant and she's carrying humanity's only hope.
Right.
What is it like as the character, to find out that knowledge? What's the pressure that she's sort of going through in the film?
It's unrealistic, It's like, it's that process of, this can't be happening to me. Well, first of all, everything else cannot be happening right now. I don't even want to acknowledge the fact that I'm pregnant, let alone the world's ending and that I'm pregnant with the Messiah, So I think there's that complete disbelief. And I think that it makes her hate this thing inside of her even more, because then it's a real burden. Before she was just gonna shove it off to somebody, and now she can't.
You have this great scene with the creepy old woman who, freaks out. So what was it like? I assume she's not that creepy in real life, but what was it like doing that scene?
No, she's the sweetest woman, and I felt so bad because she was like, she forgot a line once or twice, and she felt so bad about it. She was nervous, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden, it's just like the fangs come out, and she's like, yeah, your baby's gonna burn. I was like, wow, that's gonna be good. Trying not to laugh. Of course, people in the background I hear cracking up. I was like, you assholes.
Your character seems like she's really fighting for her family's life in the movie.
Yeah.
Was that an aspect that really, since it's something that anyone can sort of relate to, was that something that really attracted you to this big kind of action film?
Well, I liked that. I loved that it was an action film. I loved that there were heightened circumstances, and that it was basically like being, in an opera. You just go in and it gets stated. Everything's stakes are so high. You're either in this high state of rage or sadness or, fear. And so that was just exciting to go and play. And then also I liked that yeah, that these characters all had real arcs. That even though in the midst of the supernatural special effects and apocalypse and angels and demons and all this stuff, that they're very real people and are very kind of easily identifiable archetypes, but that had a very real relationship.
What the hell is that?
They're clowns! What do you think they are?
Oh, it's a bus!
You know, we're used to seeing you fight giant alien robots, so was battling an army of the undead quite a change for you?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, you know, I think just the overall movie and Scott Stewart's take on the apocalypse and angels and the way angels look to him and all of this other stuff is definitely a different thing, you know, to see a man with tattoos and muscles and guns and knives and say he's an angel. It's like the total contradiction of the images of angels that we've been pumped at us our whole lives, you know. It's something. Paul, with his airbrushed abs, man, you know, I'm really proud of the way they were able to execute that.
Is that special CGI?
No, he really worked hard on those things, man. I was there, I seen him, but I always give him a hard time. Like, yo, man, you and that dude from 300, man, y'all got the same airbrush artist, man. That's some good stuff.
Now what?
Wait a second. LAPD?
You don't look like any policeman I ever saw. Even one from L.A.
You don't know, do you?
Don't know what?
Here. You're gonna need this.
Was that helpful to know that, that you were in good hands with the director as far as the CG? There's going to be so much CGI in it.
Yeah, because I haven't done much of that. But the other great thing is he was a first-time director with all of the fervor and vigor that gives you, and ambition, but with none of the potential pitfalls. He has a lot of practical experience on a film set because he's been in the business, just not as a as a director. So it was fantastic.
You know, the one thing that stopped me from being nervous about working with a first-time director like Scott Stewart, even though I've only been acting for 2 minutes, you know, preparation meets opportunity. And his preparation for this film was so very extensive. It was crazy. Like, you know, he had the storyboards, he had images of the tones and the textures of what this film was going to look like. You know, he knew exactly what level of actors he wanted to get to, and you know, he was definitely a man with a plan. When I got to the set, you know, I felt like I was working with somebody who had done 7 or 8 movies, you know, because he was so on top of his stuff.
It was incredible. Like seeing him come out with those machine guns, I was just like, he makes Arnold Schwarzenegger look like a sissy man.
It's, you know, it's got this biblical apocalyptic elements to it. It's, you know, it's an action film. It's a special effects film. It's a horror film. Horror elements to it. It's makes you laugh at the strangest of times, and then it's focused on the people. So it's got everything.
Are you saying this is the apocalypse? I'm saying this is an extermination.
Are we safe now?